Okay, X. I've been wanting to tell you this for a while. For some background, I work in a petrol station located on the highway. Mostly night shifts, 3 p.m. to midnight. So I'm used to the weird, the creepy, and the downright paranormal. But this... normal shift. People coming and going. It's about 7. Things are dark, and the store is slowing down a bit. Behind console area. Look to my left and lock eyes. Not that I could mind you. With a woman. Frail. Thin. Elderly. With wrinkled skin and giant fly-eyed sunglasses on that cover half her face. Immediately get the jitters from her. She walks slowly to the door. I had to manually make it open to let her in, as the auto doors didn't pick her up. Makes her way to the console. Stares at me. Can't tell. Still wearing those creepy sunnies. Can you come outside and take a look at my car? I think something's wrong. Voice is soft in volume, but deep and resonating. Like I felt it more than I heard it. Decline. Explain policy with leaving, as only staff on site. Okay then. She walks off to the toilet. Now, here's where alarm bells start going off. Serving other customers. Stragglers here and there. She comes out of the bathroom after 5 minutes. Walks over to me. There's no toilet paper. Could you come get me some? Alarm bells. Something in my head says not to go there. Get some staff toilet paper from behind the console. Here you go, ma'am. Her demeanor is sour. Or, as far as I can tell with those fucking sunnies. Okay. She walks back into the toilet. About another 5 minutes, she walks back out and wanders around the shop. I watch her and notice she flicks her head in my direction every now and then, like scanning me. She walks to the coffee machine, then calls out to me. Her voice is louder this time, but it feels more like a knife this time, shrill and freezing. There's no milk in here. Can you replace it? I'd like coffee. I know I should do it, but fuck. Something is fucking up. Alarm in my body and brain were screaming not to. Decline and say I can't leave the console at this hour of the night. She gets visibly annoyed, saying how shitty my customer service is. She threatens to contact a manager if I didn't come out and change the milk. Decline and apologize. Even offer manager's number. She tries 3 more times to get me out over the next 20 minutes. She finally gives up and walks off, glaring at me through the windows as she rounds the shop out of sight. Rest of the shift goes by without a hitch. No creepy things. Surprisingly mellow and normal shift. Still, have a sense of dread in my stomach. Swap over and leave at 12:30 a.m. Walk into my car about 50 meters in the parking lot. As I get closer, the fucking glasses, scarf, and gloves she was wearing, around folded neatly, the glasses resting on top, in a pile on the ground, by my driver's side door. Look around. Sense of dread intensifying. Quick as a flash, I unlock my car, jump in, and lock it again. No time to relax. Start car, and gun it out of there. Never been so fearful in my life. The sense of dread never left. I got home, and needed a few drinks before I could loosen up to even consider to sleep. From Gasconade County, Missouri. That's Missouri for you fellers out in the sticks. I have a story that's not spooky, but involves some dumb stuff that my grandpa, aka Papa, used to do. 9 years old. Parents were shitty alcoholics, so they used to drop me off with my grandparents pretty much every week. They got a little too drunk one weekend and tried to drive. That was the end of them. My grandparents were way too old to really watch me at that point. So Grandpa had this trick to keep me in line. Next to his chair, he used to keep this cardboard cylinder, one of those from a used up paper towel roll. Before I ever went outside to play, he'd say, "Don't go anywhere. You're not supposed to. Because my truth-telling stick will find out." "Yes, Papa," I'd say, and then I'd go play, being extra careful not to do anything bad. Every time I returned home, Grandpa would pull out his truth-telling stick again. He'd look at me through it like a pirate with a telescope. "Where you been today, Sonny?" "The woods, Papa." "Good boy. Now go get your bath." This became our ritual. Every time I stopped believing in it, Grandpa just used the truth-telling stick to mess with me. Here's a stupid example, just to give you an idea. One time, we're eating supper, and Grandma asked how I liked the stew she made. I told her I liked it fine, and Grandpa pulled the truth-telling stick from out of nowhere and said, "He thinks it's salty." Just dumb stuff like that. Also, when I was 14, I developed this huge crush on a girl from school. One time, she came to our house for a get-together or something. I was too much of a pussy to make a move, but Grandpa knew I liked her, so we offered to read our fortunes with that damn cardboard roll. Cringe department, please hold." After sizing us up for a moment, Grandpa said, "You two are destined to get married." Super embarrassing, but it broke the ice, and she and I ended up laughing about it and talking. Afterwards, while everyone was inside, we ended up making out behind the house. Base department. Anyway, Papa did all sorts of stuff like that. Like, he used to say the truth-telling stick could predict the weather. I'd ask him to make a prediction, and he would be right every fucking time. Obviously, he had some trick, but it was still impressive. Anyways, he died a few years back. It was a very dark time for me. A few months before he died, he and I had some really serious talks. Stuff I never talked about with anyone. Like my parents, and how angry I was with them. Those talks were the first time I really confronted the fact that one day my grandpa would die too, and I would be left alone all over again. I don't know if it sounds cheesy, but I got kinda scared. Then, he fell ill. On his deathbed, he made me promise to keep my inheritance safe. I was confused, till I realized he meant the truth-telling stick, and I laughed. I thought it was another one of his jokes, but he got real serious, and told me to promise him that I would use it sometime. So I promised. Anyways, after he died, I was really grief-stricken, and I wound up picking up that stupid roll of cardboard and looking through it. And I saw there was a paper rolled up inside. Before I even opened it, I realized why the old man had made me promise that I wouldn't throw it away. It was a simple letter. "This is the truth. I love you, son." You crazy old dogger. I miss you, Papa. I don't know if this makes a good green text or not, but here's my experience. Fall of 2016. Grandpa dies at 86. Fast forward a couple of weeks. Dad calls me to Mom's and says he thinks Grandpa is still here. Says he's been hearing weird shit. I think he's just grieving because he's now alone in the same house where both my grandparents lived. Next time I visit him, he sounds believable, not distraught, not freaking out at every random noise. Fast forward a day or so. We were watching television in a living room. Dog on a pet bed to our right, and stairs to front door parallel behind us. The fucking stairs start creaking, Like when they're walked on. What? .jpg? Nothing ambiguous about it. Heard it many, many times. Dad gives me. I know you hear that. Look. The dog gets up and goes to the top of the stairs, ears perked. Starts looking and wooing at us in confusion when nobody's there. He was a very talky dog. Dad says the dog's never heard it before. We decide the dog is our control and neither of us are crazy. Get idea. We raise Grandpa's stair chair from the bottom to the top of the stairs. We leave a glass of milk by Grandpa's armchair, like he's always asked for. We put on his favorite show, General Hospital, on. Me, Dad, and the dog never hear anything ever again.